I'm back. All right, I showed you the t-shirts in my last live, but I came back because I'm going to make some cinnamon swirl bread. And you make it just like you would make cinnamon rolls, except that we're going to put it in a loaf pan and cut it. So we're gonna roll our dough out into a rectangle. And this is the dough that I made on a reel last night. Like literally took 5 minutes. It's a sourdough, so these would be sourdough loaf. Here we go. We're just gonna get it going here. Okay, so now that I have it rolled out into a kind of a rectangular look, so I can show you a little better, almost like a pizza that's long, right? Now we're gonna cover it up with some butter. And I like good butter, so I use Kerrygold. We're just gonna spread it across the top. That's gonna act as a binder for our cinnamon sugar. And we're gonna go ahead and get that all over. You're gonna use about half a stick of butter, maybe more. And we're just gonna spread it across there. You wanna make sure that you get it all over. All right, and then we're gonna come back. I'm gonna grab some cinnamon here. And I use a lot of cinnamon, so I have a big cinnamon jug. All right, so we're gonna come in with some brown sugar first. And I like to use a combination. So I use a combination of brown sugar, honey, and cinnamon. So we're just gonna go ahead and just spread that brown sugar all over the surface of that butter with our very clean hands. And then for the next step, I'm gonna put a glove on because it gets very sticky. You wanna make sure that you've got it spread all around. So put this glove on and we're just gonna make sure that we hit all over. You know, I'm not a really big glove person because I don't like the thought of plastics touching my food, but there are times where it's very handy because, you know, you're gonna be getting in all the sticky messes. Now we're gonna come back with the cinnamon, and you're gonna see I put a lot of cinnamon in this. So I make sure that it's covered everywhere. And then I go back and I spread it out and I squish it down. This is an important step because when you roll it, you don't want it to come tumbling out. So we're just gonna press it all in there. Now I'm gonna grab my other glove. I usually do one glove on and one glove off just so in case something happens, but we're gonna go ahead and we're going to really start rolling. And you're gonna tuck fairly tightly because you want a good amount of twisting. So I just work from right to left and then left to right, tucking it in as I go, tucking and tucking, tuck it in, tuck it in. And so when I'm done rolling this, I could actually cut them up into cinnamon rolls, but that's not what we're doing today. All right, now I have one big long loaf. And I'm gonna get a loaf pan. Actually, I'm gonna get it over here. Now, if you don't have one of these USA baking pans that have the silicone lining, you're gonna need to get something like a liner. And I'll show you what to get. This is the liner that you put in your loaf pans to make sure they come out. Yeah? Okay. But we're not gonna need to do that. So the next step then is we're gonna come in here, and this is what makes it really pretty. We're going to come in, and we're gonna cut in here, just in the center, a little bit. See, cut through the layers, and we're going to twist it. So now that cut layer has been, you can see through it, and we're going to just put it right in here. So now you've got a little bit of visibility, and you can separate it out however you want so you can see it. Tuck it in. You You can sprinkle a little bit of excess on there. And then we're just gonna let it rise. So when it rises, all that swirl is gonna become evident. And of course, when it's done, you wanna put a little bit of icing on the top so it has that cinnamon roll flavor. And to make the icing, I simply take a little bit of powdered sugar, a little bit of cinnamon, some vanilla, and I moisten it with heavy cream until it's thick. And then I glaze it while it's warm, and you're gonna have the best. Now you could also use a cream cheese frosting, always a plus. But I hope this gives you some ideas and that you're gonna try it. It's delicious. And you can really use any dough. You could use a yeasted dough, you can use a sourdough, it doesn't really matter. It's just the idea of how you cut into it and you twist it. And if that seems intimidating, you can cut it into 2 pieces and then twist it that way. But this way you're holding in all the filling much easier. So I really like that way. All right, my friends, happy baking, happy holidays to everybody. This is my favorite time of the year because it's in terms of baking, because there's so much prolific baking going on and I love it. I'm here for it. So I will be live every day. Come visit me.